Welcome back to the SportsMax Zone. If the Jamaica Reggae Girlz are to make it to the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and in New Zealand, they certainly have their work cut out for them. The Coach Blaine coached team, which topped Group C from the previous round of qualifying, will tackle the next round of qualification in Group A alongside current world champions USA, Mexico and Haiti. In Group B, Trinidad and Tobago will stack up against Canada, Costa Rica and Panama. Well, the final round of qualification will be played in July in Mexico, with only the top 2 teams from each group earning automatic qualification, while the third-place teams will play inter-confederation playoffs. Will Jamaica go back-to-back FIFA Women's World Cup? Joining us now to speak on the task at hand, head coach of the team, Coach Blaine. Welcome.
Thanks much.
So I'll start by asking you about your initial thoughts when you saw the tough group that your girls were drawn in.
That is something that you cannot expect sometimes. You're hoping differently. But, the teams are good teams. Panama, I think maybe, no disrespect to my Trinidadian friends, that maybe they're, from the results, they seem to maybe be the weakest team in that group. But I'm sure they don't think so. Like when I saw the draw, and I saw Mexico, and I saw Jamaica, where they say, I've always said I never wanted Mexico, not because we don't think we can beat them, but because they're at home with all the fans there supporting them. But it turned out that we got them and we got Haiti, and the work begins now, simply put.
Coach, when we look at the teams on paper, which will be the toughest hurdle to cross?
Has to be the US. US have been together for some time. There are a lot of girls experienced. Even the newer ones that just come into the squad, they have been playing games with the under-23s. They've been playing games with the senior team over a period of time. So they have been gelling together. So they definitely would have to be the top hurdle because they're the number one in the world too.
Yeah, time is a factor. We all wish we had more off. It seems to never be enough. Do you think in preparation for these matches you have enough time? And maybe you can talk to us also, because in an interview with you, you spoke to me about the importance of camps. So maybe you can share that as well.
Well, fortunately, we should have some time. We plan to start in June, in the early part of June. As a matter of fact, we're looking at camp from around the 30th of May to sometime in June, and then we have a second one coming up on the 20th, I think it is. That's not organized yet, not confirmed, I should say, as yet, but it seems likely that we'll get it. So we'll have the players into camp. We have all the players at our disposal at that time, so it should be a good, a good approach by us going into the games.
Yeah, Vin, we don't want to put too much emphasis or read too much into rankings because, it's a computerized system, and to say that the Jamaicans are ranked 5th in CONCACAF at the moment, Haiti 7th, and Trinidad and Tobago 8th in CONCACAF, it puts these Caribbean teams a little bit outside of the top flight. But USA and Mexico, who will be Haiti and Jamaica's immediate challenges in the pool, will obviously pose the biggest threat for your group. How would you assess how you will strategize going into the matches? Because Mexico are a different team from the USA. They play differently. The USA plays differently. Maybe it's the team that does best against the USA that will finish number 2 in the group. We're not sure. But
and that football is certainly kind of different that way. Because my approach to the games would be how the other games are going.
Yes.
Based on my first game. I think my first game against Mexico will determine how we go to the other games. Because you don't have to win the group. You don't have to win all games. You just want to qualify. It's qualifying. You want to be in the top 2, so you have to strategize. What do you have to do? Do I have to just pick up a draw? Do I have to win by 2 goals? Do I have to those are things will come into play. Over the years when we're playing and we're qualifying the same 4 teams in a group, and we have to take it one day at a time, one game at a time to see how we progress. So that is it. To prepare for the teams, we are now presently looking at the teams that we're going to be playing. We're analyzing strengths and weaknesses. We are analyzing our own strengths and weaknesses, which I've done, and continuously looking at our defensive unit and how we defend as a team. Those are things that we take into consideration. You know, it's hard to say we're going to do this against Mexico, do this against Haiti. Haiti has not played any opponents in their zone. You know, Mexico came out with Puerto Rico on the same goal, same goals, and then same points, and then in the last game, Mexico overcome them by 6 goals. So we have to look at our own performance. We have players that are, to me, that are good, that can stand up with these other players from Haiti and Mexico and the USA. So the preparation is important going forward from those 2 camps.
Yeah, Vin, I'm pretty certain that you had studied the Jamaican performance in the 2019 World Cup and leading up to qualifying for the 2019 World Cup. There are players you have now who are part of that setup as well. Are those, 2 questions, are those players who were in the 2019 World Cup and with you now better players now than they were in 2019? And overall, do you think this squad is better equipped than the 2019 squad to make a mark?
Let me give you a last question first. Definitely they are more equipped, definitely more professional players, definitely more experienced players. I have no doubt about that. As far as the others that are previously in the 2019 squad, I believe that they have improved. If only for the experience that they have garnered over the years playing for other clubs. Most of them are now playing, all of them are now playing, except for Jody Brown, are playing in professional clubs. They're playing every week, which is something that never happened in Jamaica. And they're playing at a high level with players that are also in the same team that we're going to be playing against. So we have the experience, we have the technical and tactical experience. So we just have to now come and do what we need to do based on where we are going to play, how we're going to approach those games.
Vin, you recognize, though, that you're inviting a lot of pressure on yourself because you are suggesting that this team is better equipped than the 2019 team, which got to the World Cup finals, and you haven't gotten there yet. So is there pressure on you? Is there pressure on you to get this team to the World Cup?
Well, it's pressure on me from the first game I played. We played it. You know, some people never believe we could get by Domrep. Some people believe that we have a problem with the goal difference. You know, we overcame all those things. As a coach, I'm used to the pressure. If you're a coach, you're not used to the pressure and used to hear people talking negative things about your own team and your own ability. That's part of the whole game. I'm saying anyone who has watched the 2019 team, regardless if we made it to the World Cup or not, this team have better players. This is a fact. If the pressure is on me, no, but if you look at the teams that we draw are different teams than what they do. You know, so it's always pressure, and I welcome the pressure. You know, it's do or die, and the pressure is something that you have to overcome. If you think about that, you're in problems. If I was to leave this interview saying that, oh, we are really in trouble with this other team, no, that's not how I think. And I think the players, if you ask the players will tell you they're confident that they can overcome some of these teams.
Yeah,
that's the important thing.
Definitely, Coach. What's for sure is the ladies, you know, they have a lot of mental toughness based on my conversations with them, and they are ready and set to qualify for the World Cup. My next question to you, though, how has the support been from the JFF?
Very well, good support. My approach with JFF is to have internal conversation and on the external ones, that takes it to the media. And because of that, I've had very good conversations. They are welcoming for the camps. I mentioned that from the very night we qualified. I saw them, the Gen Secretary and the Vice President in the hotel. And we said, now it's time for us to get things ready for this tournament. Back when, and Lance will know, back when I had the team from 2006, 2007, we never had any practice games. We had no camps. The first game we played was the first practice game we had was the first game in the tournament. Now we have the luxury of having a camp, 2 camps over a period of time for these young ladies. We have to do it. On the day, if USA is better than us, they're going to be better than us. You know, we want to come and give a good showing. And I think if we do that, we have the players that can make a mark and possibly win.
Yeah, I want to build on something Mariah just said there, Vin, because it is something I've seen for myself. The confidence level of these girls seems high.
Very, very high. And you can see the character in the game against Damrep when Damrep equalized. Now that the girls look concerned, you know, I think maybe the coaching staff would have been more concerned than them. You know, but you can see the character where they came up and they did what they had to do. They never panicked at all. You know, I made some changes in the second half based on what I was seeing in the first half. Because we were a little bit loose in midfield. Our two central midfielders were running out of position and not covering the central area. So we made that adjustment in the second half when we came out, and it worked. You know, we scored more goals, and that's an important thing.
Yeah, since we have you here, Vin, before we wrap up, I can't let you escape without getting a comment from you on the state of Caribbean football, because I know you had been technical director at the Grenada Football Association for some time, and also spent some time in the Turks and Caicos. Maybe not so much. U.S. Virgin Islands, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Not so much probably focusing on the women as you are now with the Jamaican setup. But the Caribbean Football Union appears to be struggling, Vin, in setting up a platform for Caribbean teams to really develop themselves. And right now, most Caribbean teams are depending very heavily on non-nationals. When I say non-nationals, I mean players not produced by them. Players who were born to, you know, Caribbean parents and so on, and playing in leagues in Europe and so on, and depending heavily on them to boost the national program. Is that sustainable?
It will be, depending on whose perspective you're looking at it from. You know, Jamaica, when Bermuda made a statement before they came to Jamaica, saying that they're following the model of Jamaica by importing players. It's a way to build your program, but you have to know how to build it. Before I left Jamaica, my thing was that under 15 girls, you can't bring in all overseas. The only 3 players were allowed to come when I was here for under 15, because that's our developmental stage, you know. But because presidents and the coaches want to win, they're going to follow the model of bringing in players, and that's what's happening. In Grenada, there were many. Jamaica has more, I think, in the diaspora than most. So we can bring in players from the UK. But I am a member of the Women's Committee for CFU, and I know there is a movement now to develop competitions to enhance the development of football in the region. So it is in the making. We had a meeting with all the MAs, and we discussed that, and it's an ongoing discussion as to how we can improve football in the region. It's the individual MA's responsibility as to who they bring in, if they're going to bring in all overseas-based players, and if they're going to bring in just a few, depending on where we are. Because the under 15 girls, our boys, won't transition to the senior team, or don't transition to the senior team. So when you get to that level, you might want to bring in some players that were over there, probably players who are already gone to college, to high school here, but they're overseas now. So it's not a problem. It's a balance that we have to look at. How do you take it at the under 15, under 17 level, and give those girls an opportunity to come into a senior program?
Yeah. All right, Vin, always great talking to you, and we look forward to seeing the Reggae Girls get themselves sharp for Monterrey, Mexico, and doing the business and making the World Cup finals for the second cycle in a row. Thanks, man.
Gonna try my best. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, Vin Blaine there, head coach of the Jamaica women's team, getting ready for the CONCACAF final stage of qualifying for the World Cup. Trinidad and Tobago and Haiti, the other 2 teams from the Caribbean involved. Kenwin Jones, of course, is the TNT coach, and we hope to speak with him tomorrow on TNT's build-up for their Group B competition as they get ready to tackle their group to qualify. And Mariah, Trinidad and Tobago setting themselves up here for a run at World Cup qualifying, which they hadn't achieved before. And maybe Kenwin can tell us a lot more about their plan, and we can grill him in the way that we just grilled Vin.
Yeah, what I do know is, you know, TNT ladies, they're very, very happy lands, Coach Kenwin as well, because we also know the circumstances that, you know, he came into the setup and it wasn't the prettiest of circumstances. So to see the woman, you know, rising from all these difficulties and just making it this far, it's something worth celebrating. So I look forward also to chatting with Kenwin tomorrow.
Yeah, we go to break. Still more to come on the SportsMax Zone.
Stay with SportsMax on YouTube and follow us on all social pages for updates, news and entertainment.